I've gone on dates with hundreds of attractive women, and here's my advice for you if you fear failure. Now, first of all, I want to say, if you're like, who's this guy? How do I know he's gone on any dates? I have infield throughout my channel. I'll have it linked around this video, so if you're skeptical, I can prove that I walk the walk. I don't just talk about dating Casey Zander and show no evidence of my own results. Corey Wayne. Anyway, but I feared failure more than probably anyone at first. When a girl tried to kiss me, I literally ran away from her, even though I was attracted to her. Turned away, literally ran. Not metaphorically, actually ran away. Wait, don't. I can't.
What?
I'm sorry. Didn't even go on a date until I was 19. So I understand fearing failure when it comes to dating as well, if not better, than pretty much anyone. Now, the first thing that has to be addressed, most guys don't want to admit they have any fear, that they have any anxiety. Oh, I don't have approach anxiety. I just don't see any girls are hot. Shut up. There are three possible explanations for why you're not getting, why you're not getting the results in dating you want. One is you're so ugly, no woman would ever want you, possibly. It's over, black pill, you're disgusting, you're a troll, don't even try. That's option one. Option two, you are afraid of failure and you just haven't put yourself out there. You're too afraid of failure to get a pro photo shoot and use dating apps with good pictures. You put up pictures that you know are shit. You know they make you look like a serial killer / incel who lives in your mother's basement. You know that, but you still decide, you know what? I'm just going to use these because that's all I have. You know that deep down they're not good enough and you should get a pro photo shoot, but you don't. You're afraid of what would happen if you actually did your best and you still got no matches. Or you see hot girls walking down the street. You know you could go to a bar on a Friday. I know leaving the house is kind of outmoded, not a normal thing to do, but you could. You like women, but you don't do it because you're afraid you would just get rejected and obliterated nonstop again and again. So there are women you could be meeting online and in person and you're not even trying. So either you're afraid of failure, the obvious explanation, you're just too stupid to realize there's opportunities. Like you're like, well, I guess I'll just watch porn because going out, well, why would I even do that? Like the women would probably just be mean and they'd all reject me, so I'm not going to do it. That is just, I'm stupid, right? That's the explanation, is that you're so dumb, you've decided it wouldn't possibly work for you, even though you haven't really tried, even though you've done 5 approaches in your entire fucking life, even though you're using those basement dweller pictures I was mentioning, you've decided, it wouldn't work out for me, so I'm not going to try. Either you're afraid, you're stupid, or, this is probably the answer for a lot of you, you're in the closet gay. You're secretly gay, and because you're secretly gay, you don't have any motivation to go out and meet women, because really, that's not what you even want. In which case, look up your nearest gay bar and see if something awakens in you, and then you won't need any help getting laid because it's really easy if you're gay. So those are the options. It's okay to be afraid of failure. Everyone is afraid of failure. And if you want to get good at anything that has a skill component to it, and you might say, well, dating's not, you've decided it has no skill, even though you haven't really tried. But I'm not saying it's all skill. I'm not saying looks don't matter. But there's a skill component. If you awkwardly go up to a girl and like, hi, how's it going? You're pretty. Do you think that's going to go worse than, hey, what's your name? Yes, it's going to go worse. It's going to make a difference. If you run out of things to say, a girl could like you. She's eventually going to walk away because you've been standing in silence for 10 seconds and you start watching this video because you don't know what to do, and then she thinks you're a fucking weirdo. That's the difference between having skill and not having skill. Of course, there's a skill component. Anything that has a skill component, the only way to get good at it is through a lot of failure. Any salesman who makes a lot of money got rejected many times. My first YouTube videos, no one watched. They were terrible. No one wanted to watch. I had to fail. The first times I wrote articles about whatever, they sucked. I failed. The first times I tried to play drums, I'm not, a professional drummer, but I'm a decent drummer. First times I played, my beat was like, it was 4/4, but I was playing like 16 3/4 time signature, way off the beat because I fucking sucked. And to get good at it, you have to fail, learn from your mistakes, adjust course, do better. And most people are so resistant. Their ego is so involved. They're so afraid of those failures They never even try. They just don't try, period, at all. And with dating, it's even easier to make this excuse. Why? Because you can tell yourself, oh, dating is not a skill. Dating it's based on, your looks, money, status. Once you tend your garden, the bees will come. Sorry. Unless you grow to be 6'8" and you end up, your face completely transforms and you become super famous, women aren't going to start aggressively coming to you. That's just a very outlier, not going to happen. If it hasn't been happening for your whole life, it's not going to start happening now. There's the 1% of guys who that happens to, they're not watching this. They don't even watch YouTube because they're too busy getting laid. So if that's not you, too bad. Don't complain about it. It is what it is. So they're not going to start coming to you. Dating might feel, because everyone's told you wanting to get better with women, that's lame. You know what's lamer? You know what's worse? Not being able to get women, being bad with women. The only thing worse than learning to get more confident, to develop the skill of being good at attracting women, is not trying and just accepting being terrible at it and just settling for Bertha, for Big Bertha, or for, who's that trans woman in all the podcasts? Gorlock the Destroyer or whatever. That's worse. So yes, you fear failure, just accept it. It's okay. If you're not going out and approaching women and maximizing your dating apps, actually getting pro photos and using the apps consistently. I mean, look, if you're completely broke and you can't even afford food, that might be a priority. But in pretty much any normal circumstance, if you're not even trying, it's because you're afraid of failure, or the second most likely option is you're gay. So now that we've established you have a fear of failure, the question is, what do you do with that? You realize that every other guy has this same fear of failure, which means most men don't put in much effort. Most men are getting very few options in dating because of their fear of failure, which means there's a ton of opportunity. It means that because so few guys are really putting themselves out there, if you go approach girls, if you use dating apps and you actually follow through, you put in a solid 30 minutes a day into them, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get far better results than you even deserve or should get, because there's not nearly as much competition as any time in the past. So many guys are watching OnlyFans, they're watching AI generated porn, they're playing video games 18 hours a day, they're doom scrolling on TikTok, they're not going out in the real world, they're not actually interacting with women, and even the ones online dating apps mostly look like incel/serial killers. So just putting yourself out there will have far more return on investment than any time in the past. You'll have more opportunity than ever before because there's less competition than ever before. Now, there's more women who come across as kind of autistic and weird too, but most guys are so desperate for sex that they wouldn't even notice or care. So, fear of failure, just admit you have it. Don't be so proud of yourself that you can't even admit that that's the reason. If you're not meeting women, you're not shooting your shot, it's because you're afraid, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with having this universal fear that everyone else has as well. It's fine, not a big deal. Accept that that's the reality, and realize that once you overcome this fear of failure, anything becomes possible. That's how you start being that guy that's 5'5", and you see him with a really hot girl, you assume he's rich. He overcame his fear of failure. Maybe he's also rich. But many of those guys, they just overcame their fear of failure. You will open countless doors by doing that, and you close every door when you're afraid of failure. Because even when you have a girl in your social circle or at work, if you're afraid of failure, what's going to happen? You are going to basically be walking on eggshells. You're going to be very careful. And even if you do get her by some miracle, what's going to end up happening? She's going to think that you're desperate, you're needy, you're kind of weird, you're kind of uncomfortable, and she is going to lose attraction for you over time. And then it's going to be like Akash, the comedian, I don't know his last name, and his wife, who's now just publicly humiliating him and probably cheating on the side because she has zero respect for him. You're going to end up like that guy, Akash Singh, I think. Maybe, I don't know about the pronunciation, but I think that's his name. That's going to end up being you. Even if you do get a relationship, because you never overcame this fear of failure, you're going to attach to that one girl that you are able to get, if you're able to even get one. And she's probably not even that attractive. She probably doesn't have a great personality because you never faced your fear of failure when it comes to dating. It's going to be a great experience to overcome this part of your ego, to peel away the layers, to peel away the mask, and to be able to become more authentic, to become genuinely confident. And yes, there's a price you have to pay. And that price is facing your fears, is going through rejections, is having some awkward interactions. But the price you pay for not doing it is either inceldom or barely getting laid at all, barely having any dating results at all, and having to jack off all the fucking time, or settling for a girl you don't even really like. And maybe she even is physically attractive enough. She's probably not going to be attractive in the other levels that matter, and she's not going to respect you if you got her from a state of fear. That's the guys that cling on way too tight. They get jealous really easily, and she just loses all respect, all attraction over time, and then divorces you, takes half of your money, takes your kid, and it's not a great situation to end up in. So face your fear of rejection. Anyone who gets good at anything does this. Every time you fail, you are getting better. As long as you don't just get bitter and upset about it, you think, you know what, maybe the fact that I didn't even look at her for 2 seconds and I was just staring at her boobs, maybe that wasn't the best. Or maybe the fact that I talked like Mickey Mouse because I was so nervous, hey, how's it going? You're really pretty. Maybe that wasn't the best. Maybe there are little things I could do better, right? Or a million things I could do better. That's going to be the case for most of you. And you start improving, you see you get better results. You see every once in a while a girl is just, likes you for whatever reason. She's blind and she decides that you feel like you're attractive. Whatever it may be, she's just a nymphomaniac who would sleep with anyone. Still, she's not going to tell you that, so you still get the confidence boost from that. And once you get that confidence boost, then you get better and you get better results, you get more confidence boosts, but that only happens if you start to face your fear of failure. And if you want my help doing that, because it's something you can tell yourself for years that you'll do one day, you'll finally get this taken care of one day, year after year after year, it doesn't happen. If you don't want to get stuck on that cycle, then click the link below and I'll show you how I can get you to overcome approach anxiety and to make more progress in terms of dating in 3 days than most guys do in years. And I can guarantee that you will approach at least 25 women, even if you've never done it in your entire life during this program. And that comes with a money-back guarantee that you can learn more about when you schedule a call with me by clicking the link below.